episode number 175.
Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut, because #ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. Hello. I'm excited because I'm jumping on to talk to you about the common mistake that lawyers make that keeps them feeling stuck. That's what I want to talk about. I've been having conversations recently, particularly because it's promotion season, and I thought it would be good to talk about this because I'm seeing it happen time and time again, and I think it's something that could be avoided. Hey, I am interrupting this episode to let you know that applications are now open for the Career Changemaker program. If you are a lawyer and you know that where you are right now is not working for you and you want to figure out what the next best move is for you and how to strategically position yourself for a new opportunity without having to take a pay cut, without having to start at the bottom, you need to be in this cohort, because the May Cohort is really going to be dedicated to supporting lawyers. And the reason why I want to do that is it's 1 year since I left my legal career. It's 1 year since I fully went into what it is that I want to do. And it's been a brilliant journey. And I want to support as many professional women as I can, and particularly lawyers in this May Cohort of this program. So if that's you, as you're listening to this, if you know that you want to be making a move and you've been procrastinating around it, you haven't been sure how to move forward, or you've been trying to move but it's not working, then go and make your application. Head over to www.careerchangemakers.com/CCM program. That's www.careerchangemakers.com/CCM program. Submit your application. I will review it, and then you will be invited to go through a career change assessment that's going to help you to see where you need to be focusing your energies. And we will determine whether or not the program is a good fit for you. Okay, so go make your application. But that's often what happens. It's like we're on the path, we're doing the things, we think we're going to feel a certain way. We get to that place, we don't feel the way that we thought we were going to feel, but yet we now have all of these responsibilities. And so what I see happening is there is often a mismatch between the expectation that we have around how we're going to feel when we get there and what the reality is. There's a misalignment between the expectation of how we're going to feel and then the reality of what happens when we get there. Because what happens is we can be using our logical brain, right, all of the time, and saying, okay, A plus B equals C. Work hard, put your head down, get the promotion equals success. Yeah? A plus B equals C. But sometimes we're forgetting about the feelings part. We're forgetting about the other elements of us that really need to come into play when we're showing up at work every day. So when we're saying A plus B equals C, it's like, yeah, it makes sense on paper. On paper, if you're working hard and you're getting a promotion and you're climbing the ladder, you are successful. But in reality, just getting the promotion isn't the only determining factor when it comes to success. Let's think about that. If working hard and climbing the ladder was the only determining factor of success, then why would people who reach the heights of their careers decide to do something different? Let's think about lots of CEOs recently of big companies, the named companies that we know, we're talking about like Amazon, for example, have stepped down. During the pandemic, Jeff Bezos stepped down as CEO of Amazon. So, one of the richest people in the world, working for one of the biggest companies in the world. Everyone knows Amazon, right? It's like you are the CEO, you've reached the pinnacle of success, but you stepped down. Why have you done that? Because it's not all about just reaching the top. And what we have to realize and recognize and take into account is that how we feel at the beginning of our careers isn't always going to be the same as we move through our careers. Why? Because we change. We change as people. We go through different experiences. We have value shifts. We have experience shifts. Things are different as we move through different phases. So your marker of success at the beginning might not be your marker of success now. But one of the biggest mistakes that I see lawyers making is not taking the time to take stock around this type of stuff. Not recognizing the misalignment that is happening and not recognizing that the misalignment is there, and the reason why you're feeling stuck and the reason why you're feeling frustrated is because what you thought you were working towards and what you actually have achieved doesn't feel like it's a match. Doesn't feel like it's a match. I know that when I decided last year that I was going to leave my role as a lawyer, and I was like, right, I've been working on my business on the side for the last 5 years. I have been working with clients. I have been doing what I need to do. I have been building up some momentum here. So I know when I move into my business full time, I'm just going to be in a different place because I'll have so much more capacity to give to my business. Because before I was fitting everything in the fringes of time. Now I'd be able to fit everything in the daytime and it will all be good. And the reality has not aligned with what my expectation was, because the reality is I'm working in the day and I'm still sometimes working in the fringes of time. And they're things that have not looked how I thought they were going to look. And I don't feel the way that I thought I was going to feel, because being an entrepreneur and running your business full time is very different from running your business on the side. So my expectation and the reality were misaligned. And so now there's a season of recalibration that's happening where I'm like, okay, this is what I thought it was going to be, but now I'm in it. This is what it is. And then now I can assess what needs to happen from here. And as lawyers and as professionals, sometimes we are so busy doing the work that we are required to do that we don't have the time, or we don't prioritize the time to take stock. So you're working the long days, you're working on the deals, you're working on the transactions, you're juggling working from home now, you're juggling family life, you're doing all the things on a day-to-day basis, going, and you're feeling the frustration and you're feeling the misalignment, but you're not paying attention to it. So the problem with that is, if I'm not paying attention to why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, then how do I know how to fix it? How do I know how to fix it? Because the source of your frustration when you're saying expectations are not meeting the reality, they can be different for different people. So it's about you being able to say, well, if I'm feeling frustrated or if I'm feeling like this isn't really working for me, why is that? What about it is misaligned? And then where do we need to go from here? Because sometimes that misalignment can be a quick fix. Sometimes that misalignment requires a little bit more dedication and maybe you need to make some kind of shift. And sometimes that misalignment means you need to consider doing things in a completely different way. But the reality is, just staying where you are isn't working, right? Just staying where you are in terms of just going, climbing the ladder, getting higher, getting promoted isn't working, because as you're climbing, if where you are right now is not working and you're climbing up the ladder and you're saying, well, this still isn't working, then really, where are we heading? Are we setting ourselves up for success, which is the external version of success, or is it success based on our internal? I think a lot of the times we're building out careers from an outside in perspective versus an inside out perspective. And what I mean by that is we're looking at the externals and we're looking at the markers and we're looking at what is it that I am expected to be doing in this season, or what should I be doing in this season, or I'm 3 years qualified, I should be here by now. I'm 5 years qualified, I should be here by now. I'm looking at my peers and they are here, I should be there. We're looking at the external markers, but not paying enough attention to the internal. We are all individuals. So regardless of your label, regardless of the status that you have in terms of the label that's been placed on you in the workplace, you are an individual. And what's important to you in terms of how you show up and how you work and who you work with and what makes you feel validated and what makes you feel recognized, that varies. But you need to understand that for yourself so that you can communicate it to other people. There's a lot of times where people will say, I feel undervalued. I feel overlooked where I am. I don't feel like I'm recognized. And it's like, well, have you communicated to those around you how you need to be validated? or your preferences. And if we don't know our preferences, we can't communicate those. But I do want to just encourage you that if you have been feeling like where you are now is making you feel unhappy, is making you feel stuck, is making you feel undervalued, is making you feel like, I'm doing this, but why am I doing this? If you're having those questions, then I encourage you to figure out why you're having those questions and what needs to happen next. Just staying where you are is going to be more of the same. And I know what can happen sometimes where it's like, okay, I'm going through this thought process. I'm going through this thought process of, should I be making a move? Should I be doing something different? But then there's a week or there's a couple of weeks or there's a month where things are going really well at work. And so I'm just going to stay where I am. And then things swing the other way. And so it's like going back and forth around, should I be going? Should I be staying? Should I be going? And when you're feeling like you're going back and forth, it's sometimes the perfect time to get grounded in, well, what am I actually trying to create here? What am I creating when it comes to my career? What do I want? What experience do I want? Not only what role do I want, what job do I want to do? Who do I want to work with? What type of work-life experience do I want to have? And am I setting myself up to create that? That's a question that you can be asking yourself. So that is what I wanted to share with you. Common mistake that lawyers are making is not paying enough attention to the misalignment that could be happening inside of their careers. Where there's misalignment between the expectations and the reality of what's going on, there's an opportunity there to figure out, what do I need to do to get back into alignment? Have a good day. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any future episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway has been from today's episode. Come over and join us in our Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn so that you can join the conversation there. Head over to lightbotscoaching.com/community and it will take you right to the group. I look forward to seeing you.